Good morning, everyone. So now let us talk about the review on proofreading marks. But before that, let us define what is proofreading. So proofreading means carefully checking for errors in a text before it is published or shared. It is the very last stage of the writing process. When you fix minor spelling and punctuation mistakes, typos, formatting issues, and inconsistencies. Proofreading consists of two words, proof and read, which implies it as a process of making a content error-proof after reading it. Proofreading is reading content with caution and mark errors, if any. Therefore, proofreading is a process which makes it error-proof while reading by oneself so that the content can serve its purpose. Proofreading is the final stage of the editing process, focusing on the surface errors such as misspellings and mistakes in grammar and punctuation. Now, let us know the importance of proofreading. So proofreading is important to ensure that there is not any grammatical error, capitalization error, and numbering error. Also, number 2, spelling error. 3, inconsistency in the format of document. 4, misplaced words, sentence structure, error, and lastly, for the punctuation mistakes. On the other hand, let us know what is proofreading marks. So proofreading marks are used to highlight spelling, vocabulary, grammatical, and punctuation errors, along with formatting and layout issues. Proofreading marks, also called as proofreader's marks, are symbols and notations for correcting typeset pages. So the proofreader places these marks in the margins and in corresponding lines of the text. There are two types of proofreading marks. So for the first type, we have abbreviations. So these are usually handwritten on the paper containing the text. And for the second one, the abstract symbols. Symbols are interleaved in the text. So as we go on in our discussion, I will show some examples of these types of proofreading marks. So now, let me share to you the tips for effective proofreading. So first tip, proofread backwards. So begin at the end and work back through the paper paragraph by paragraph or even line by line. Number 2, place a ruler under each line as you read it. This will give your eyes a manageable amount of text to read. 3, know your own typical mistakes. Before you proofread, look over papers you have written in the past. Make a list of the errors you make repeatedly. 4th, proofread for one type of error at a time. If commas are your most frequent problem, go through the paper checking just that one problem. Then, proofread again for the next most frequent problem. For the 5th one, try to make a break between writing and proofreading. So set the paper aside for the night or even for 20 minutes. 6th, proofread at the time of the day when you are most alert to spotting errors. So proofread once aloud. This will slow you down and you will hear the difference between what you meant to write and what you actually wrote. 7th, try to give yourself a break between the time you complete your final version of the paper and the time you sit down to edit. Approaching your writing with a clear head and having at least an hour to work on editing will ensure that you can do a thorough, thoughtful job. The results will definitely be worthwhile. And for 8th, Ask someone else to read over your paper and help you find sentences that aren't clear, places where you're being wordy, and any errors. Ninth, try reading backwards, a sentence at a time. So this will help you focus on the sentence rather than getting caught up in the content of your paper. 10th, know your own patterns. Your instructor can probably help you identify the errors you've made most often in your previous papers. And then you can focus your attention on finding and fixing them. 11th, read through your paper several times. Once looking just at spelling, another time looking just at punctuation, and so on. Again, this will help you focus so you'll do a better job. 12, use the spell checker on your computer, but use it carefully and also do your own spell checking. Computer spell checkers often make errors. They might suggest a word that isn't what you want at all. And then 13th, get help. If you're not sure if you need that punctuations or that word for your text or for your content, look it up in a writing handbook or ask your instructor for help. So now let's move on to the proofreading marks and their symbols. So here are the operational marks. For delete, close up, delete space, delete and close up, insert space, space evenly, move left, move right, begin new paragraph, let it stand, transpose, and spell in full. And for the punctuation marks, we have insert period, insert semicolon, insert colon, insert comma, insert apostrophe, insert double quotation marks, insert parentheses, insert end dash, insert em dash, and insert hyphen. And for the typography marks, we have caps for set in capitals, LC in lowercase, ital in italic type, and Rome in Roman type, BF in boldface type, the V here for the superscript, and here is for the subscript. For the proofreading abbreviations, we have faulted diction, awkward construction, too wordy, verb tense problem, wrong word, run-on sentence, and unnecessary repetition. So again, here are the proofreading marks and their symbols. We have operational marks, punctuation marks, typography marks, and proofreading abbreviations. So now is for the examples. So example number 1. The sentence is, the brown quick fox jumps over the lazy dog. So we will use this symbol to transpose quick in here and brown in here. So it will be the quick brown. And then for here, fox, we will spell it in a small letter. And then jumps, we will erase the another M because the spelling of jumps is only one M. So we will delete this. And this symbol is for the delete or erase. And then over the lazy, so there is a space in it. So we will close the space by using this symbol. And then we will delete this word because the dog here is repeated. So the final one is, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, and now for the example number 2. Hank didn't realize that the guest had already arrived, but it was too late to do anything about it. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. I replied, I thought you knew. He got only more angrier. He stomped away. I threw up my hands in despair. So this one is for the apostrophe. So you will put apostrophe after N. And then already close up the space, and then too late, put a space, and then here, put a comma, and then here a quotation mark. Why didn't you tell me? Quotation mark, and then space, and then quotation mark again. I thought you knew, quotation mark. And then
No here indicates no space. So these sentences will be transferred beside the word new.
so transpose the word only in here and then got and then more, delete it and then stomp away period.
So the final sentence would be Hank didn't realize that the guest had already arrived, but it was too late to do anything about it. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. I replied, I thought you knew. He only got angrier. He stomped away. I threw up my hands in despair.
So that would be all for the examples in using proofreading marks and symbols. So I hope you understand and then thank you for listening.